Hello and welcome along to a special episode of Red Tinted Glasses. Coming up on today's episode, I am interviewing Fans Project Chairman Andy Forbes so that me and you can find out more about the Fans Project, which was set up in the summer to enhance the match day experience. What I would like to do, though, before we get into the episode, if you're listening or watching on YouTube, go into the description, click on the link below, and donate to the Fans Project. The Fans Project are hoping to set up a display for Neil Simpson in one of the games in October, hopefully the start, as we've said before on this podcast, not the last game. And donate what you can. The minimum donation is £5. If you are watching here on YouTube as well, comment below. Let us know that you've donated. It'd be great to show the guys at the Fans Project the support that we as the fans can give to them and keep that match day experience and enhancement to the players going. So without further ado, let's get into the chat with Andy. Andy, welcome along to Red Tinted Glasses. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks, Glen. Thanks for the invitation to come on.
Well, thanks very much for coming on, and it's a great opportunity not only for myself, but as I said in the introduction, for the wider Aberdeen fan base to learn a little bit more about the Fans Project, because maybe there are some that still don't know about yourselves and what the achievements or aims are. So could you give us a little bit of an insight into, first of all, what the Fans Project is and why you guys felt it was needed?
Yeah, so the number one goal for the Fans Project is to help the team. We want to do everything we can around the match day experience to help the team win games, help the players play better. It's basically looking at every single little detail of that match day build up, right up until the teams come out onto the park and indeed throughout the game. So how can we as fans influence that and make it more colourful, intimidating, if you want to use that word? Basically just to really get the ground rocking. And it isn't always about the atmosphere and the colour. I mean, there are other aspects to it. I mean, we've got pretty much a blank canvas with what we can do with the money. Obviously, the majority of money raised so far has been towards TIFO displays, but we've also got a donation from a gentleman in Norway who gave us 10 season tickets, and basically they're available for groups that maybe wouldn't otherwise be able to come along to Pataudry to afford it or whatever. So there's quite a wide ranging aspect to the Fans Project. We felt it was needed because it's a number of reasons, but I think most recently there was a very well-known Aberdeen fan sadly passed away. Duncan Clark, Punk was his nickname, and I think there was a strong feeling amongst the support that he needed to be acknowledged in some fashion because he was a leader of the beach end over a long period of time, very well-known face. And yet there wasn't really a vehicle to be able to raise money for that and to make it happen. Now, as it happened, I did a fundraiser myself for that one. And that wasn't the trigger to the Fans Project, but it certainly, to me, highlighted the need for the Fans Project, because what we don't want is situations where we need to pay tribute to a player, let's say, hopefully not, but say a player passes away. We want to make a tribute to that player, and we're basically starting with nothing. And that is always an issue, because depending when the timing of that, it might only be one home game left or whatever, all kinds of different scenarios. So we just want a little bit more flexibility, a bit more money in the bank to be able to react, to be nimble and to react to things that are happening. I mean, it could be, paying tribute to a player that's just scored a hat-trick or whatever it is. Papa Guy next, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
So it is really quite a wide-ranging bunch of things there. It'd be too difficult to sum up in the
Yeah.
time we've got. But I mean, anything, we're willing to listen to any ideas. But it is, number one goal is, I suppose, making Pittodrie
That fortress again.
a fortress, but also making it accessible for everyone, maybe
Mhm.
people that can't access it at the moment as well. So a bit of all
Yeah.
of that.
No, absolutely. And obviously, you already mentioned the season tickets that have been so kindly donated as well. And I think as well, from obviously being part of the group chat and obviously knowing you a number of years as well personally, and there'll be a few people tuning in that know you and how passionate you are as an Aberdeen fan. It's great to have someone like yourself on board of this and kind of helping drive it. And I think as well, the people maybe don't appreciate the cost side of organizing these tifos. I certainly didn't appreciate the cost behind what was organized for the St Mirren game. So, the regular donations where possible for people, if they can do that, it's, as you say, greatly appreciated, and it allows the group to react to whether it is organizing a display or it's not just, as you say, displays, helping fans potentially get to Pittodrie and support them in that capacity where needed. But we've also been looking at donations to local charitable causes as well. I know is something that's been looked at as well. As I said, I've known you for a couple of years, and I know how passionate you are around the club and how much the club means to you. So, what was it that made you want to get involved, and why does it mean so much to you?
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously, Stephen McCormack being appointed as match day experience manager makes a big difference, because
Mm,
he's already made a huge impact in a short space of time. He's been there. I've known Mez a long time as well. So
mhm,
kind of him being there, I think, really made it an easy thing to do because we know now there's somebody with that passion, same passion on the inside of the club,
mhm,
and he's already managed to negotiate a few areas that were maybe stopping points in previous for displays and what have you.
mhm,
So, listen, anything that helps the team at Pittodrie has got to be worth getting involved with. So initially asked to become part of the group, and then I was asked to take on, if I'd be happy to take on the chairman role. Now, which of course I am. It is challenging because we've got a sizable committee. There's a lot of stuff to be done. We're a brand new organisation, so there's no precedents being set. So I actually try to get a bit of decorum and try to get actions and rules drawn up.
mhm,
We're still at that stage. We're all getting to know each other. We don't all know each other, but what I do like about the committee is it's very diverse. It's right across the supporter base. So we've got, and we've actually got some talented people on the panel as well. And obviously, we've just recently asked yourself to become involved, which was great. Thank
mhm.
you for that, because
No problem.
what we found was that there was a lack of talent being able to do the social media, set up the social media pages and do all the messaging. Nobody was really up for that, so
Mhm.
we knew you were good at that, and thank
Says
you for
more about my skill set.
thanks for coming in and taking that on, and you've made a difference already, so it's brilliant. What we're working on at the moment, which kind of doubles back a little bit on your first question, but
Mhm.
I think it is important that there's still a lack of understanding out there as exactly what the Fans Project is about,
Yeah.
and we want to set that straight. So we're in the process of putting together a Fans Project charter, which will list out all the aims and ambitions of the group, and I think that will then be clear to everyone. But just to emphasise, it's all inclusive, and it's for all supporters groups associated with Aberdeen Football Club
Mhm.
to partake. and really that will come out in the messaging in the not too distant future.
Good, and I'm sure, as I said, hopefully this a little bit, this chat today clears things up a little bit, but I'm sure the charter will keep things defined as well. So, as I said at the introduction to the episode, there is a link in the description of this episode, whether you're listening on audio or video. That is one of the ways to donate to the Fans Project. We are exploring other options. I know, Andy, we had this discussion last night about the possible introduction of a regular donation service, whether that be via direct debit, but that's not currently set up. How else can fans look to donate or support the Fans Project? I think they can do that when they purchase stuff through the club website. Is that correct?
Yeah. So on all the sales points within the club, whatever you may buy now, there is an option that comes up to donate as you check out. So that's a great thing. We're in the process of setting up the entity and having our own bank account. At the moment, the club have been very accommodating. They've helped us out with a number of things because we're just getting up and running.
Mm-hmm.
We should have our own bank account shortly, but the funds raised at the moment are being held by the club on our behalf. Okay. So the idea being eventually that we can set up the direct debit once we have our own account, and obviously anybody who wants to do that would be very grateful. And other than that, there's a number of flyers and online. There's QR codes at the moment where you can just simply click it on your phone. Mm-hmm. And that'll take you straight to a donation page. It's not all about money. I mean, money is important because it helps us get materials for tifos, etc. But people's time, we're always looking for volunteers. The display team needs help a lot of the time. So, you can help in a lot of different ways, devoting your time by helping prepare, set up, whatever it may be. So please, if you want to volunteer on that as well, you can, and you'll be made welcome.
And I guess if people are looking to volunteer and give up their time, whether it be for the display team or other projects, how would they be best going about doing that?
Good question. Probably, certainly Stephen McCormack is always making appeals for help on his social media channels, LinkedIn in particular. So yeah, you can contact the club, either contact the Fans Project email address or contact Stephen McCormack at the club.
Perfect. I'm sure people will be willing to do that. As we've said, the Fans Project isn't just about creating displays, enhancing the atmosphere and helping what's already been a successful start to the season continue. There are other initiatives that the Fans Project will be looking to support, or fans have kindly supported, as we discussed. The 10 season tickets kindly donated by the fan over in Norway has already been utilised for the first couple of games this season, and I think is already booked for the next couple coming up in September as well. What else are the Fans Project looking to support in terms of kind of charitable causes and kind of accessibility to Pittodrie? And again, I guess for groups looking to maybe use or want to take advantage of those season tickets, again, they can reach out to Mez on that supporters engagement channel.
Yeah, listen, there's no limit. I'm really wary that I don't want to select individual groups. Basically, we want to be all inclusive. So any supporters club or any group, mental health support, whatever it may be, if you think that getting access to those tickets for a match is going to benefit your group, please just ask, and they'll be allocated accordingly. Obviously, we're in our infancy, so we're hoping that as we grow, there'll be more opportunity for things like that. And as we get more money and more donations, and as we can then look to maybe expand that offering somehow. But it would be applicable to certainly any charity groups that would like to have access to that certainly just need to get in touch and we can get it arranged.
Yeah, and as I said, as you said, that we very much got a blank canvas at the Fans Project. So if there is local organisations looking for support, and we are open to ideas from that. I know, as we said, we were discussing one last night in terms of donations for the sea fine in particular was one that was being discussed last night. One of the kind of, I guess, ambitious plans is you mentioned being in the infancies, coming around the TIFOs. We're looking to honour Neil Simpson, a terrific servant for Aberdeen Football Club, both on and off the pitch. A person that you know very well away from the football ground as well. The club are keen, the Fans Project, I should say, are keen to honour Neil's time at the club with a display in October. It's an ambitious plan, and again, funds are key to pulling off any display, however big or small. So again, it's just an appeal and a hope that fans can follow those links and donate anything they can. But is there anything you want to add on to that Neil Simpson display, plans or hopes for that?
Yeah, so Simi, obviously an absolute cult hero, legend within the Aberdeen support. He's got to be given a really good send off, fitting, and obviously he's still with us. He'll still be coming to the games. It's just to mark him officially leaving the club. So it needs to be a really good fitting display, but the funds will dictate how much we can put into that. And what the launch of the Fans Project was delayed. Basically the end of last season, because ideally what we wanted to do was launch just as the season tickets went on sale, but obviously the team wasn't in a good place at that point. It just didn't feel right. It wasn't the right time to launch, so we had to delay until after season tickets went on sale, which obviously impacted the revenues that we could have raised, because it would have been there as an option to click a minimum £5 donation as you bought your season ticket. So if we got a £5 for every season ticket, that would have been the start that we'd hoped for. So we're on the back foot. The club have been very accommodating in that, the displays we've done so far this season, and the pulley system that's been installed in the RDS, which is a game changer for displays at that end of the ground. The club have been very, very accommodating with that. So we really do need to push the boat out now and seriously raise some decent funds for Simi over the next few weeks to allow us to get the materials and to plan the design of the tribute to Simi. So yeah, please, anybody, it doesn't matter how small, whatever you can afford. Everybody's quite tight for money just now, we know that. But whatever you can afford, please give for Simi, and we will put that money straight into use for the tifo for Simi when he goes.
Yeah, there's no link to this interview coming out on payday weekend when there's an appeal for Simi. It's just as Andy says, anything that can be offered, and it will be put straight to that fund, and obviously any excess is then in the bank for future displays, tifos, or, as we've already discussed, causes and projects that can be supported. So your money will always be used for good, I guess. As you said, Andy, one final thing, that the Fans Project remains in its infancy, early stages. What are the kind of future plans and ambitions that you'd like to see for the Fans Project as it grows over the next few seasons?
It's probably back to what I said at the start, that it's looking at every little detail. What can we make better? And I really mean the detail. So one thing that certainly there used to be a AFC Fans Supporters Forum, an official forum, which I was part of for a number of years. I was getting good traction on that towards like the match day build up, the music. To start with the music, right? Let's have a total revamp of the music and the build up especially the last 20 minutes to kick off,
Yeah.
get the same build up, same songs, same tunes, ones that will really get the crowd going, but also let's have a new club anthem. Some of the songs we've got, they're okay, but some of the versions of the Northern Lights, for instance, it's not a great inspiring pump me up song. I think there could be better versions of that. We used to sing a fast version of Northern Lights in the 80s, and I'd like to see something like that come back. But they're so welcome to ideas, any ideas on all of this. This is stuff we haven't had time to get into yet, but we fully intend to. So the music's a big part. The pre-match build-up, a club anthem. I think we'd all love a club anthem that we can belt out, and I think that's a must-have. And it could be, we throw the gauntlet to local bands to say come up with something, and then we'll have a final, which could be in a fan zone with a stage, and everybody can vote on the one they like, type thing. So there's things like that. It's just examining that whole match day experience and what can we as a committee of fans do to help improve that, and I think make it more accessible as well for all fans. Some fans possibly just can't afford it at the moment, and we want to open the doors to them as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff spoken about. The other one which I'm wary about raising, but certainly a strong feeling amongst the Aberdeen support. The statue of Sir Alex is fantastic. But we should be looking to add to that, and obviously Willie Miller being probably the most commonly mentioned one there. Now I'm wary about raising it because it's a lot of money, and like the Fans Project, we couldn't possibly look to fund something like that. It would have to be a separate project, and the club would need to would have to have a conversation there as well about contributions, etc. But I think there's a clear agenda, certainly from a lot of supporters I speak to, that we should have statues of all our greats, and the next one in line, by popular request, seems to be Willie Miller. So again, it's a separate. Anybody donating right now, that's not what the money is going to be used for. I think as and when we were ready to contribute or help with something like that, it would be a separate launch for a project like that. But that's just an example. There's no boundaries, blank canvas, anything inside or out the stadium that we think will help the team will be under consideration.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's the kind of beauty of it as a fans project being in its infancy. There is that blank canvas, and what I've enjoyed from the group chat so far is seeing all the different ideas and the kind of areas of expertise people have to share that. And I think if fans, as you've said, if they want to, even where obviously this interview's coming out on YouTube, comment your thoughts down below of any ideas that you guys have, and I can obviously relay that into the group chat. And I'm sure Mez will be delighted, as well as yourself, Andy, to explore any possibilities and see where they can go.
That's what it's all about. Yep.
And I think that also plays into the fact that it is inclusive of all fans. No idea is a bad idea. Everything will be taken under consideration. Obviously, there's some exceptions where we can go at this present stage, but it's great to get the fan base as a whole engaged and make them all feel involved, not just certain people are pulling in one direction and you've got to go with what's being told. If everybody feels involved, it kind of plays into, I guess, what Jimmy Talene wants, that togetherness that seems to be creeping across.
No, exactly. And I was thinking that before we did this interview, that I do think what we're trying to do ties in very nicely with the manager's messaging at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, I was actually listening to his pre-match press conference for the Ross County game, and I really do feel, how much he speaks about the fans and the importance of the fans. If we can continue to do what we can to support the team in any method, then it further enhances that. But Andy, it's been a really insightful chat into what the Fans Project can do, both on and off the pitch, and hopefully for some that maybe weren't aware of the Fans Project, it's given them a little bit of an insight as well. And all I can say is thank you, and thank you to those that have watched and listened, and just urge you to follow those links in the description, and donate where possible.
Thanks, Glenn.
So thank you very much, and thank you to all of you that have tuned in. I hope you've enjoyed the show and it's been insightful. So until next time, we'll see you then.